Okay, so first of all, I'm going to create, I'm just gonna bring this to the top actually. I'm gonna create a new layer just below this. I'm gonna use this as my rough layer, just trying to figure out where everything is. So I'm going to just have a note of how many petals there are and what direction they are. So obviously this one that stands up straight here is pretty obvious. So I'm gonna say that one. And this one over here. So I'm just gonna put that at that angle. And this one, I'm actually noticing the back one here. And that actually can kind of help me make a rough sort of the size of the circle. It's about like that. I'm trying to see how many, again, we could do our measuring. You can see the size of that is actually one size of the petal approximately on this side. So I'm just gonna give that a mark there. And it's about 1.5 on that angle this way. So it's gonna be a little bit higher up here maybe. Let's just do that again, 1.5, that's about that. Okay, so that petal's coming up about there. This one looks about just a touch. We're probably right at about there. This one comes a little bit longer. It's about 2, 1, 2, maybe about to there. That one at the back. And let's see, there's one here. I'm actually doing these lines at the center. I'm just making like a center line here. Square, kind of like spokes. And this one behind is about there. There's one a smaller one in front here. Got that guy, and then we have this one at the back. It's kind of following the lines here, or following the curve rather. Approximately like that. Okay, so let's just rough these in with some shapes. Sort of this shape here. This goes out quite wide. See, comes in. This little guy is kind of on an angle. And the one in the back, we know it's overlapping. This one, actually I'm gonna do the one on top first here. We know this one's overlapping that guy. And let's see, these ones are pretty close. I'm looking at here, pretty close there. That kind of goes on that angle. That one there. Okay. That one in there. I'm trying to notice the spaces between them when they finish, where they come together into the center. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we have our little stem here too. Notice it's not straight up and down, it's a little bit more to the side. Okay, looks about right, pretty close. Just our basic size and shape and proportion. I think we're doing okay. All right, so now let's just knock back that opacity and hit the plus sign so we can go over it. I'll just zoom in a little bit so we can get some of these nice details here. And I'm just gonna go around it here. I like this little wave here, so maybe just throw that something like that in there, because I think that gives that nice frilly edges, and we know from our petal practice that we can go and do some nice lines and details in there afterwards. So I know that these are making that shape there, that little triangle shape, so that's good to add. Again, this does not need to be exact, but it does need to look like an anemone at the end of the day. It's just nice to pick up all the little things that make it so pretty. Let's get this one in front first. See this nice little curve here. I don't think I've got this on the right angle. You can see it's coming out quite a bit more this way. Okay, let's go back and grab this one underneath. Okay, and this one here. And that guy there. Again, I'm going to notice this space here. There's a petal actually behind, so we can do that as well while we're over here. Right, and this guy in behind. Okay, so let's just go and turn off our guide layer there. Okay, so now we can go in with some more detail, and we'll start with these nice folds. So here you might see just the other side of that a little bit, so you can add that if you'd like. I'm just going to come in lightly and then darker. You can see here they do have more of like this sort of veining if you want to add that much detail to it. All right, let's go and find these little opportunities for bends and folds and things. Great. Okay, it's easier for me to do this way. Just noticing how this kind of goes down here, so you might want to sort of play with that a little bit. Just kind of showing by the direction of your lines. Again, you might want to see that other side, just to give it dimension. So I think that's pretty good. You have a good idea of how to combine those two. Practice just sort of finding all those extra little details that make it look so beautiful. So great job. Feel really good about yourself for doing this extra practice. It's really going to help you in your final project. So let's move on to our next lesson, and I'll see you there.